Hello, disruptors, and welcome to another phenomenal, transformative episode of Mindset Mastery Moments. We are diving into a topic that is intriguing and just as transformative, the twin flame journey. Oh, zoom in, get a friend, get a neighbor, share the link wherever you're listening to this, because we're going to dive in deep and have some fun, learn and grow, and then we get our glow up together, right? This concept has often been linked to the connection between quantum entangled particles. It's more than just romance. It's about healing, self-discovery, becoming the best version of yourself. Actually, stats show that 95% of the students of Twin Flame Universe reported a mental health and a self-confidence shift while embarking on their journey. Despite the misconception, which I had to learn over time, that twin flame connection is not just about toxicity and all the fantasy and the ooey gooey meeting the obvious, lost part of you. It's about profound inner healing and growth. Public figures like Megan Fox, Machine Gun Kelly has made this pretty popular, and they've placed it in mainstream media. There's so much more that we need to learn, and it's so much more than meets the eye, and that's at the surface of the concept. Well, yeah, blah, blah, blah. You see, I have an amazing, beautiful woman in studio with us today at Mindset Mastery Moments. If you're watching us on video, today we're honored to have Dr. Chrissy Emerick, a coach with Twin Flames Universe, to guide us through the journey of the whole concept and where and how it can help us learn and grow and create abundant lives. Dr. Chrissy, we are so excited to have you here, and welcome to Mindset Master Moments.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm so looking forward to this conversation with you today. I love your podcast and what you do, and I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, I loved just everything you already said. We're gonna have a great time today.
We're going to have some fun. And let me tell you, my curiosity is so psyched up that I can't believe I actually am sitting before someone who is an expert. And I feel like there's so many people that are experts in the whole thing, but your approach just really is in sync with mine. Dr. Chrissy specializes in helping individuals heal fear-based patterns, embrace self-love, and manifest abundant, fulfilling lives through the teachings of the Union. And so you see, abundant, fulfilling life. What else is Mindset Mastery Moments about? So once again, absolutely welcome. And I got to tell you guys a little bit more about Dr. Chrissy's work. Dr. Chrissy Emerick is a dedicated coach, mentor at Twin Flame Universe, which you'll get to learn more about that in this episode. She helps individuals navigate the twin flame journey with clarity and, my favorite word, purpose. And I gotta give you, clarity is becoming one of my favorite words. I think it's my word for 2025. But hold on. She brings a unique perspective, blending scientific principles, and y'all know I'm all about the research. Show me the stats, right? With practical, heart-centered guidance. Dr. Chrissy, I love your work. Her work emphasizes overcoming fear, cultivating self-love, and I'm taking my time because all that she's bringing, I can't tell you, so I bring the words that embodies her work as concise as I possibly can. And she uses the twin flame journey as a vehicle for personal transformation, and that I have not seen done. So today, Dr. Chrissy, once again, welcome. In your own words, tell us who you are, what you do, and how did you start doing this?
Oh, yeah. So I am actually I'm the CEO of Mind Alignment Process, which is something else I do. But being a Master Certified Coach of Twin Flames Universe is an absolute honor. I love it. I get to work with people every single day and just support them in moving through their blocks and their upsets and whatever's going on with them in their life and any part of their life, and really support them in, identifying goals, moving towards those, and seeing how we can do that from a spiritual perspective, an emotional perspective, and a physical perspective to really call in that wealth mindset, that abundance mindset, and create their reality through their choice, their conscious choice, right? And I got into this work Oh man, I had a couple watershed moments, but I think I'm a retired lieutenant colonel from the United States Army. I served 20 years in the Army. Yes. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I loved it. I absolutely, of course, I spent 20 years in it, so I definitely love the Army. But yeah, I was coming down off of a really high operational tempo job, and I was, in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, and I realized that my life was going in a really great place, right? I had a great job. I was finishing up my PhD. Like, I felt really good in all of these areas of purpose, and like what I was doing, I felt fulfilled. My love life was a bit of a mess. It was just not working out for me. I was dating and dating and dating. All right, the guys, because I was in the military and I moved around a lot, the guys were from all over the place. So it's not like it was, they were in the military, but some of them were, some of them weren't. And I was like, well, the common denominator here in this whole situation is me.
I love the accountability. Absolutely.
Yeah. So I had to be like, okay, well, I think that I need to look within myself and see what's going on with me and identify how I'm continuing to manifest this. And that's really how my twin flame journey started. I started researching, we were talking about this. We just loved to research. I just dived into psychology books. I dived into whatever I could find at Barnes and Nobles to start looking at myself and really self-reflecting and taking classes. And then I stumbled on the twin flame journey. I stumbled on twin flame books. I'm like, what is this concept?
Yeah.
What is this all about? Let me learn about it. So I started Googling. I found Twin Flames Universe's work and what Jeff and Shirley are doing there. And I was like, I think I like this. I don't know though yet. So, I just kept researching and kept looking and started to just apply the basic concept that they use. And I was like, okay, let me see if this works. And I started feeling a shift. And I just followed that. I followed that good feeling. And that's how it started.
Wow, that is incredible. What an incredible journey. Why does it sound similar to mine? When I stumbled on the twin flame journey, I don't know what I would put in the search engine. About 9 years ago, my ex-husband and I we were in separation, and we started dating and I'm going to share a little bit of my own journey that some people, we started dating when I was 17 years old. So it was lock in. And then 5 years later, when I was 22, we got married. And then we were living apart for about the first 2 years of our marriage. And then finally we were together. There's just a whole lot that happened right when we moved in and had our home and stuff together. But when we separated, I was 34. So at exactly half of my life, I'd already been in a relationship with one person. And for all intents and purposes, he was my first boyfriend. There were other guys I liked when we were younger and we liked each other. And I didn't want to date before I finished high school. So I didn't officially start dating anyone or mess around or whatever. I just kind of kept it, really good friends. But the issue I had at 34 is well, how could I not? You start unraveling in that healing journey of all the things, and you're like, how did I get here? Because I was very much aware of what I was doing. There was no force. There was no rehearsing. There was no oh, you have to get married. There was none of that. I was smart. I had my own business, and my business was doing well. Like I say, there's a push of pain and a pull of purpose. Sometimes we, making decisions based on painful needs that we have. That was not the case. I was very conscious and consciously committed, and I had the terms and condition. The only, if you cheat on me, that's it. And it's funny, he cheated and I didn't ever leave. So I started looking at that, but then I wanted more for my next chapters. I unraveled and did the healing thing. Now it's I wanted more. I wanted more for me in that quest for me, so I can be this full, whole, complete being that shows up in a union. So with that search, I stumbled on the concept of twin flames. I've heard about, what is it called? What's the other thing before twin flames? Soulmates.
Yes, soulmates.
Right. Yeah. I felt I had a soulmate connection with my ex-husband for sure. And trust me, guys, follow along. because she's going to give us the deaths. I'm not the person to give you the death, but I'm sharing my journey. So if she wants to bounce back later throughout our talk, and then this thing came up. I'm like, what the heck is twin flame? And every time I look, I keep reading and looking about the toxicity in terms of, well, there's this runner chaser, and I'm like, I ain't chasing no one.
Yeah,
The runner. I know. I was like, I'm the runner. So I knew I was a runner from. When I say runner, like when I was little, I beat boys up when they told me they liked me. And as an adult, if a guy told me he liked me, I stopped talking to him. Even this is after I learned that, I'm like, okay, so you might be the runner, but I'm not, because when I look at all, so it was just so much confusion. I left it alone, and then I started looking more into it, and I was like, you know what? I'm my own twin flame. That's it. Period. And you're correct in my thought. Now I'm in a space of where I welcome understanding, though, but I feel like your way of teaching it, and we'll get into that, is where I've rested. Not, I used to think, well, could this person be my twin flame? Could that person be my twin flame? And I wasn't getting into relationships, but as I meet them and the revelation and the connection and the intensity of the connection just as two humans, I was just questioning a lot. And I let that go like 7-8 years ago. But now I walk in a space where I welcome the in, but I still don't think I understand. So you have a novice, even though I've done some research. The question is, let's address the elephant in the room.
Let's do it.
Is a twin flame? And it's journey.
Yes, let's do it. All right. So like you talked about the concept of soulmate. I think that is like really what a lot of people understand, like the soulmate concept. There are some similarities and differences, but essentially twin flames are people who have been created for each other as your perfect match. They are someone who we believe complements you and nurtures the best version of you and your true self. Okay? And we feel you can form loving and lasting bonds with your twin flame in this lifetime. And it's all about loving yourself.
Yes.
You know, Twin Flames Universe and Twin Flame Ascension School is all about learning how to love yourself. And you could think, wow, why do you need a school to learn how to love yourself?
Oh, we do.
Well, I did.
What's
I definitely, I had no idea.
That is something we are not taught. And the older we get, it seems like we drift further away from the self-love. Oh, tell us about it. We do need a school. I didn't know a school like this, but thank goodness.
Yes. So like, it's all about learning how to prioritize things in your life. So prioritizing God or source or universal energy, whatever it is that you believe in, you know, prioritizing that higher energy or higher power, prioritizing yourself and your needs. It's okay to honor you have needs. It's okay to say, these are my needs. This is what I desire. This is what I'm looking for. And then prioritizing your partner, your twin flame, and then everyone else. And it's all about coming clear. Your twin flame is your perfect complement. When you talk core values, they're going to match you completely. When you talk what you desire to do with your life, what you desire to do with where your version of your life is going, they're going to meet you there, right? And they do that as you do the work. So when we talk about manifesting an abundance mindset and we get into creating your own reality and really setting those mood boards and getting clear on what you want to do with your life, and then moving towards it. And you move towards it through healing any upsets that you have. That's it. And we do that with the mirror exercise. It's a 4-step process. It's amazing. And you just sit there, and if you're upset about anything, it doesn't matter what you're upset about. You just move through and feel your feelings. Feel what's going on within you. Really sit and feel how you feel about something. And that can get really challenging at times.
Oh, yeah.
Right? It can. It's not easy work. Spiritual work is work.
It's work,
right?
Yeah.
It's work.
It's the toughest job you're going to do, but the most rewarding.
Yes, absolutely. Like, because you start valuing yourself. You start really looking at your behavior patterns in life and how you're treating yourself, how you treat others, how you actually, you know, before I was in the work, I had like different relationships, right? I had like this compartmentalization thing going on. I was like this way with this group of friends, this way with this group of friends, this way with my colleagues, this way with my military crew. Like, it was like all this. And I was like, wow, I really have a lot of compartmentalization going on.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't really, it's not healthy.
Yeah.
Right? Because like, it's really important to be your authentic self. Try to look at those things Yeah, and be like, well, this isn't actually something I'm doing this, but where did this trained behavior come from?
Right.
Why am I behaving like this? Is this good for me? Is this bad for me? Do I want this or not want this? What is it that I want? Am I doing this because I feel obligated? Right? Am I doing this because it feels good to me? It's loving my future self.
Yes.
You know? Is this good for me now, or is it just pleasurable? That's the twin flame journey. It's looking at everything going on within you and choosing yourself, loving yourself through it.
So when it comes to the whole concept of soulmates, can you connect us with what a soulmate can be defined as, and what are the differences between a soulmate and a twin flame?
Okay, very good. So a soulmate is somebody who will come in and out of your life at different times based on some kind of purpose. You have some kind of lesson to learn from one another, right? So as you grow, and I think we've all experienced this, I definitely have. So I've been in relationships with people, right? Like you were talking about your relationships, and you had a really good time, and you met each other, and like, you know, you're really jonesing, and everything was going great. And then at some point, like for me, my personal experience is that I started growing, I started changing, and the person I was dating didn't change with me. I started, you know, moving to the next level, and they just didn't move with me. They didn't shift. And then the strain starts playing on the relationship because you're not behaving the same way as you did before, or something shifted, or, you know, you're changing, and they don't change with you. But they met you when you first met, and you agreed on that relationship. And what I found is when I changed and wanted the relationship to shift, my soulmate didn't move with me. Right? Now, Jason, my twin flame and husband, he moves with me. Like, right? Like, so he meets me, he challenges me,
Yes,
he loves me, and we move together. We go deeper. Our relationship is always deepening.
yeah.
So as I do the soul, if I do if I do the inner work, I love myself. He reflects it to me. Your twin flame reflects the love you give yourself.
Come on.
Yes. So like when you love yourself, you will see that come through your twin flame. Now here's the catch. They also will mirror when you don't love yourself. Okay. And so like that, there's two ends of that stick, right? So like where you're not loving yourself, or where you're not, like, you know, where you're maybe neglecting yourself, that's going to come through your twin flame in different ways. And that's why it's so vitally important. And this is where that toxicity comes in that you were talking about. Yeah. It's so vitally important for twin flames to have a practice in place that's agreed upon. So when you do have those moments, you can move through them.
You move through it. And that's where the schooling and having a guide is important.
Yes.
Which I would say anyone, I feel like we should normalize outside of the journey of twin flame. Let's say you're already married and you're married to a soulmate. I think we should normalize healthy third party support and
absolutely,
and tools and techniques. I mean, I recommend that for all the time on the podcast.
Everyone.
For you as an individual. Heck, the most important union you're going to have after returning to the love of yourself is the one you're going to have with another person that you choose, not your mother and your sister and those are great, important relationships as well. But this one becomes priority after self, right? And so I really believe it's so important. And what you're saying, here's the thing though. Tell us about some of those misconceptions of how twin flames, how it all works and what it is and what it's not. If you can just help us do some myth busting, because I know someone's listening and like, I've heard about it, but I don't want that. That's too toxic. I could be chasing a guy for a year. I could chase a woman for years and them not feeding in. No one, I'm going to let you do it. Because I always, one of the things I go off of saying when I meet people who feel like they've met their twin flame, I'm like, you may have, but they're not ready. And you chasing them and being miserable and not being their happy self is something only you can work on. But
yes, exactly. Yes. So like, okay, let's just start with that one. The runner chaser dynamic. Okay. Yeah. This is a huge, It's a myth. That itself is a myth. So there is no chaser in the twin flame dynamic. There's just runners.
Right.
Okay. And you're running from yourself.
Oh, I agree.
Yes.
I agree.
Yes. Yeah, you're just running from yourself. So if you, for example, are in that, you feel you're in that dynamic where you're doing all of this work and you're not seeing change happening, well, there could be a couple things going on. There could be that you're really not getting clear on who you are yet. Like you're just really not clear. And you need to, we talked about that clarity earlier, like getting really clear on your core values and who you are and who you desire to move into, like what you want to do with your life, that purpose. And when you do that and you really focus on yourself, and this is huge in the twin flame journey, when you really focus on yourself, you really love yourself, you start feeling like you're in such peace when you're loving yourself and you're truly practicing self-love and peace, that you're okay with anything that happens. It's then that your twin flame is like, oh, I'm here. I'm right. And they come in and you have a whole new dynamic to move through and a whole new relationship to adjust to as you get clear on like, wait a second, I was jonesing with God. Like I was good. I was doing my thing. Now what I called in is here, and this is a whole new ballgame. This is like, whole next level relationship with your creator and with your man or your woman, depending on, your polarity. But yeah, I think that's the biggest myth buster I'd put out there, is that there is no chaser, there's only runners.
I absolutely agree, because we are always, I would say, I don't want to say always, but we are constantly at a certain level of our spiritual journey avoiding ourselves. That's if there's a runner and that's not even a chaser, that's really a runner. Your higher self is there, and you're like, not today. I want to do some more crazy stuff first. I could be a good girl. I could get up every morning, not look at my cell phone, do yoga, but I don't want to. Give me time. Higher self, let me get up and just, drink coffee and then smoke a cigarette. I know. I should be doing meditation. It feels better when I do. So I feel like it's always with you. And so no wonder when you end up in a twin flame journey, when your twin is going up higher, you're like, I'm not coming with you. I'm not doing that. Right. I just want to be down here. I want to argue. I want to fight. So that's one of the myths. How about the other one where you wouldn't be happy in another relationship if you never have that twin union? Explain that to us. That's a whole nother.
It's a choice, right? To be with your twin flame and choose to be on the twin flame journey is a decision.
Come on.
And it's a conscious choice. And if you aren't interested in that, it is okay. Live your life. Like focus on what you want to focus on and do your thing. It's okay. Right? It's a choice to desire this relationship. And I would honestly say, if you are not ready for that choice, or you're not thinking it's for you, that's okay too. Like, go do your thing, but honor the choice you're making. So, if you see yourself, you're constantly being guided, you're constantly, scrolling through and finding twin flame stuff, and you're constantly looking at the twin flame stuff, then you want to inquire, you want to check it out, right? You have to honor those little like tips from the universe that you're getting, right? And if you've checked it out and you don't want to do it, and you're like, this is not for me, this is like way too much accountability, this is way too much spiritual work, this is like, that's not what I want to prioritize right now, that's okay. Right? Then you know what? Honor that choice too, and kind of put a boundary up, because it could get very uncomfortable and quite like maybe even depressing, frankly, if you're saying you don't want it and then you're constantly putting yourself there. Yeah. Right? Like you have to really
that be clarity piece, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And you can do that simply by loving yourself and honoring how you're feeling, because that's the first step. Just loving where you're at and how you feel and what you desire. And we believe that if you desire a lover, in which most people do, they desire to have a partner in life, they desire to have a lover in life, then you are created with a twin flame. And as you're choosing that and holding that desire in your heart, you're gonna find your person if you're working towards it. And everyone that comes in on along the way, all those soulmates, they're teaching you lessons.
Right.
They're teaching you things about yourself. They're teaching you boundaries. They're teaching you a little bit. You're learning something from everyone. Everyone is teaching us all the time, right? We can learn from everyone.
Right.
And so like, that's what it's all about, is like really getting clear for you and what you want to do, and then honoring your choice.
Let's talk a little bit for the person who has vested. These are not our novices who might just be hearing about twin flames for the first time. These are the people who are invested in the journey. And I don't want to say they're going about it the wrong way, but they're going about it differently from the way it's taught and worked on in the twin flames universe school, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So there's some people who really put up with the toxicity, abuse, abandonment, even a bit of narcissistic mistreatment. I don't want to say narcissistic persons, but
right.
What would you say to them are some of the things that you should not surrender in any kind of toxic relationship under the guise that this is a twin flame union?
Oh, absolutely. I completely agree with you. We stress this consistently. We have the Twin Flames Universe has an open forum on Facebook, has like over 62,000 people in it at this point. And these kind of,
I might be.
Yeah, you might be in there. Like, so these questions come up a lot because a lot of people come from different, like, communities. They're in a bunch of them. If you're in one, you're in like kind of a bunch.
Yeah.
But what we feel is that you should never allow yourself to be mistreated ever. It's always you first. So a boundary is required.
Yeah.
So if you are being mistreated, if you are in a toxic relationship, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, financially, boundary.
Yes.
Yeah. Boundary.
Right?
Because boundary up. Because your health, your energy is for you. And it's to be honored and respected and loved and cherished.
Absolutely.
It is for you. And as a feminine energy, like, we're in here today, we really need to honor our energy.
Yes.
Right? We really need to honor you. That is your honey, your financial energy, your emotional energy, your romantic energy, your psychological energy, spiritual energy, physical energy. It is your honey. Yeah. And it should be honored.
Yes. And let me say this, just to add to that, it's for those who are listening. Remember that a boundary is not, you shouldn't say, well, he's not hitting me. She's not cheating. She's not yelling and cursing. It's whether or not it feels like it dishonors your soul, your honey, as Dr. Christine said.
Yes.
Once you're feeling dishonored, unsettled, confused, sort of helpless, that's where you have to put up a boundary. Some of us look to mainstream to guide us on what our boundaries should be, what are normal, what our acceptable should be. Please don't. Your soul has a compass for you. So those are where, because for me, I might be fine with someone not talking to me for a week and talking to me next week and still feel like I'm in love with them. But for Dr. Christine, if you don't communicate with me once a day, then she might be unsettled. If your person that you're with, it doesn't matter if you call them twin flame, soulmate, or just your lover, whatever, your bestie, that doesn't work for you and you're unsettled, nervous, confused about it, then it's not working, friend. Boundary up. So we just want to be clear about what we're diving into here and what Dr. Christine stands for as a professional in this area. And of course, what we believe as just general rule of thumb, what I believe general rule of thumb with working with anyone. So you can understand that it's putting up with any kind of abuse and mistreatment and what doesn't resonate with your soul as whole, right, and true for you is you living in an inauthentic space, as Dr. Christine mentioned, and it will violate you and you won't prosper. You wouldn't get to fulfillment. You wouldn't experience abundance for yourself first. So, Dr. Christine, your work highlights how self-love is a central part of the journey. Why is self-love the key to unlocking the full potential of a twin flame connection?
Because loving yourself and prioritizing yourself is how you master unconditional love.
Mm.
And mastering unconditional love is the key to harmonious twin flame union. And harmonious twin flame union is not like my husband and I don't fight. Okay? That we're a normal relationship. We're a marriage, right? But what it means is that we move through it together. So when we have something we're grinding out within our consciousness, when we're sitting here and we're moving through something, we realize that I'm literally having a conversation with a part of myself that is, something's out of alignment, and I need to feel what's going on. So it's about having the maturity to have a feeling conversation. And when you move into your feelings and you choose to move into loving yourself, you are always going to find peace. You're always going to find resolution. There's not shoving anything under the rug and just letting it be. We don't do that. There's not, you're going to be mad at me and then tomorrow we're going to act like it didn't happen. Nope, none of that. We get to the core of it every time and find peace. Mm-hmm. And I think we all run on cycles, right? There's all these cycles we're always running on. And so the same issues might come up for somebody over and over and over again. That's the lesson you're learning. Like you talked about earlier, like the abandonment or the mistreatment. Those are the lessons you're learning. Yeah. And you have to get really clear on, are you abandoning yourself somewhere? Mm-hmm. That's what the mirror exercise is about. Step one is, so-and-so is upsetting me because they're abandoning me. Step two is, I'm upsetting myself because I'm abandoning myself. Mm-hmm. Is that true in any way? And it's always usually yes. There's somewhere within yourself that you're abandoning yourself. And if you're in a situation where you feel somebody's abandoning you, maybe you gave them too much power in your life. Mm. Maybe you didn't have a proper boundary up and you're seeking something outside of yourself.
Wow.
Instead of giving that to yourself. Because when you give it to yourself and you love yourself, then you're not seeking anything from anyone. And that's power. That's peace.
That's
freedom.
Wow, it is. I could feel it just listening to you. So my question to you for that. So I'm listening to us right now, and this is the first time, but with everything that is said here between Dr. Alisa and Dr. Christine, it's like, oh, I want this. What should I expect if I was going to embark on the journey of curiosity, then becoming more into the desire of having that union? Because I broke up with my boyfriend who I thought was my soulmate, and we've been together for 5 years. I'm just saying this, making this up for an avatar of who I want you to speak into. And I wanted to give love another try, but I want something more than what I had last time. Where should I start with this?
Oh, love this question. Where I would have you start is getting clear on what happened in that relationship. Okay? You reflect on that relationship and you think, what are 3 things that I loved about this relationship? What are 3 things that I really enjoyed? What attracted me to this person? Why did I spend so much time with them? What did I enjoy? And I want you to write those down. Okay? It could be that, he paid attention to me. I really love that he protected me. I really love that he, really aligned with me in, let's say, honoring universal energy, honoring God. We really met there, right? And then what I'm going to have you do is reflect on 3 things that you didn't like, right? 3 things that were deal breakers. 3 things that didn't meet the mark for you. So he wasn't loyal to me. He cheated on me. Right? She constantly shut down on me. I couldn't stand the way that she treated me when she was upset. She wouldn't move through her own feelings. She just blamed me all the time.
Yeah.
Right? Or maybe he never romanced me. He refused to have any kind of romance with me. Our romance was dead. Right? And I want you to take those 3 things and flip them and add them to the list. So yeah, the opposite, right? So when you're looking at he cheated on me, well then I want my man to be loyal to me.
Yeah, loyal.
And be faithful, right? She always blamed me. Well, I want my partner to take full responsibility of their feelings, right? Like our romance died. I desire my partner to prioritize romance in her life. I want to go on dates.
Yes.
And then you add this to your love list and you start creating a love list for yourself based on your desires in a relationship. And you can use all these past relationships you've had to help you identify what those things are. Yeah. Man, my list was long. I had a lot of contrast in my life, so I had like pages of what I wanted from my man. Right through. You know, I did not hold back. Yeah.
That's funny because I did that instinctively. And I talk about it all the time is I made a list. I remember when my ex-husband was like, after months, he's like, yeah, we should try. I want to take you out. And for me to make a decision to go on a date with him, I made that list. I just did a paper in half. And I had all the things I loved about being in that relationship and all the things that I didn't. And it just, I was like, well, if one list was better than longer, whichever was longer than the other, that's the direction I'm going to go. I didn't flip the script, but with a guide. And I realized, well, you know what? I asked him some questions and he hadn't been growing and changing. I'm like, I wouldn't even go on a date with you. He's like, but I'm your husband. I'm like, yeah, you're my husband, but you're back in the line. The minute we separated and went in two different directions, you're back in line just as any other guy on the planet. And that really is an advantage to you, to us, for us to get to know each other. And the person that I'm talking to just from a distance, I don't know that I want to hang out with them. Because we get in an argument and a fight, and that's not how my current, that's not the direction my life is going in. I'm going towards more peace. I'm like, if it's anything I want more than anything right now, is peace. I don't care about money. I don't care about stuff. I just want peace.
Yes.
And so I realized saying I want peace, I realized that that was a calling of my soul to become at peace with myself and who I was and how I was showing up in the world. And I talk about authenticity so much, core values, true beliefs, because that's the place and that will become the needle and the measure of what peace is. So even if someone didn't like it, it was a hostile situation, I will still be at peace, even though my feathers might have been ruffled or I might have a negative experience, at wholeness, because when I showed up with my whole self. And I honored my own self, and I knew when to put a boundary, and I knew when to continue, and because I'm guided by myself.
Yes, exactly.
And so that's what peace became and still is. And it's like, well, how much higher can I get into my peace space? I talk about us saying we want love, we want to be successful. But what we're truly seeking, that's my story, it doesn't have to be true for everyone, is peace and a wholeness in ourselves. And so when you're talking about this twin flame union, it's like when I get deeper into this, my partner will. And
yes, they will follow.
I don't know, like I said, I've stopped pursuing whether this is my twin or not. And I'm in an evolving relationship. I'm watching how that goes. So now you've told us some of the things that we can do to prep. Can you tell us, how can we identify a twin flame?
Yes. Okay, so there's many ways to do this. There's tons of content on Twin Flames Universe's YouTube channel about this as well. But some things we've already talked about, so we'll go over those. Your twin flame will always go deeper with you. We've talked about this. So when you heal and when you're truly doing the healing work, your twin flame will meet you there. They're going to move with you and always be willing to go deeper with you. Where a false twin flame or a soulmate relationship, they won't be able to spend much time with you. They'll always find reasons to take breaks from you as you're going deeper because they can't be around your vibration all the time. Where your twin flame will be with you all the time. It'll just be like being with yourself. So they'll move with you. Okay. So it's a really good indicator. Another one is that you'll have the same core vision for life. You're not carbon copies. Okay. So it's not like, my husband is over here doing the same thing as me. He just got done snow blowing the driveway. Like, right. He's doing his own thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's not like a carbon copy of me, but like what he does complements what I do.
I do. Yeah.
Yeah, see, like that's a huge sign of a true twin flame, is that you'll complement each other in what you love to do. And you'll have the same vision for life together. Now, when you start here, you can get caught in like, I'm a vegetarian and he eats meat. It's a lot deeper than that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not like he has blue eyes and I have blue eyes. It's a lot deeper than that. It's really about why you're doing that. And it could be like you both feel it's a soul's purpose. Yeah. And it could just be like you both have a core value of health and you feel this is the healthiest way to eat for you, right? But you're still honoring that core value of health because you're going to have the same core values.
Yes, absolutely.
So, yeah,
absolutely.
So those are some ideas.
Identify those. My soul says yes to everything you just said. And when I think about it, that is such a high form. When we look at, let's talk about mainstream media a little bit, and we look at some of the mainstream relationships and some of the issues. I don't want to pick on anybody, but if you wait for that, and while you're waiting, you prioritize yourself, you will connect with your twin. And it will be a beautiful, beautiful journey. Like Dr. Christine said, we argue, fight, and have disagreements about things. But the beauty about it, it doesn't tear you apart. It brings you closer. And the thing I hear you say is the theme song, and that's why I said soul purpose. Your twin, in my opinion, my understanding, by the time you show up in each other's world, somehow, either you have the clarity prior, one does and one doesn't, or both did. Whenever you do, something about the direction that their life is, where they're headed and what they're committed to and what they desire, what they know they're put on this earth to do, is highly interconnected with yours. Like you said, it's not a blueprint. And so even if they were supposed to go live on Mount Kilimanjaro, it will not be like, I'm not doing that. I want to stay here in the valley in Phoenix. No way. And maybe there might be resistance, but then in your soul, you know that Mount Kilimanjaro is where us, the union, belongs. Mm-hmm. And whatever conversation will happen, you both will end up on Mount Kilimanjaro or not. But it's like the agreement, it will always end in, always end in agreement and a direction that once you're there, you're like, this is where we're better as individuals and as a union. Am I getting that? Is that what I'm hearing?
Yes. So like you will move forward together as one. Right. Because it's a whole, you're each your own individual person and consciousness, but together you create a whole consciousness. And so you move together in like one life, moving forward. So yes, everything aligns and you complement each other. And it is really important to live on purpose because it's a lot of energy. You're working on your vibration every day. It's an ascension path, right? Harmonious twin flame union and twin flames is an ascension path. And so like, as you choose to ascend, that's a lot of energy you're calling in. So what are you going to do with it? Where are you going to focus your energy? What do you want to do with your life? What is your purpose? What lights you up? What brings you alive within? What gives you an inner drive? And as you choose that and you love that and you move towards it, because there's a lot of work to bring that stuff in. You got to do all that inner work. You got to work through all those upsets that we were talking about. As you do that, that energy comes in for you to move it forward, and you do so together.
Absolutely.
And if you are wondering, this is another way that you can magnetize your person to you, your partner to you. It's by feeling good. It's by giving. It's by doing purpose work. Because when you feel good, we know the secret. We know law of attraction. Like attracts like. As you choose to love yourself and you really get into loving yourself and you're vibing and you're loving life and you're having a relationship with life, you can't but call in your twin flame. They can't but show up at your door because you are so magnetic to them. You're so attractive to them. because you're loving your life.
Absolutely. And they are too somewhere.
Yes, absolutely. They are doing the same thing you're doing. Yes, you're one.
But so let me ask you this off the wall question. Why do you think the twin flame union and twin flame journey has gained such a significant public interest? What do you think why does the concept resonate so deeply with people today?
Well, I think because people are willing to feel their feelings and honor their desire in their heart, that they desire their person. It's not just any person they want. They want their person. They've had enough contrast. They've had enough, I think like the people coming into their 30s and 40s, like you said earlier, you're around 34 when this kind of came in. I was around the same age. I think I was exactly 34.
Wow.
And so I was like, when you said that, I was like, whoa, it was the same age. But like, yeah, like when you start looking at your life and you start looking at, okay, I'm in my mid 30s. Like, what are we doing? Like, where are we going here? I love all this, but this trajectory is not where I want it to be. I need to focus on it. Yeah. And when you start focusing on that, and I think a lot of us focus on our careers and our professions, and now we're in a different place and we're ready for the next level. And we're looking for our perfect person who's going to complement what we're creating.
Right.
Who's going to come in and support us. Who's going to love us and bring something to the table that's going to support us on the next step. And I think that's a natural desire.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. And so, yeah, of course, people are going to, and I'm pretty sure J-Lo needs to go to, anyway. She's still looking. So, at Twin Flames Universe, you guys emphasize the teachings of union. Can you share what it means and how it's helped students achieve that higher healing and fulfillment that we talk about abundance altogether?
Yes, the teachings of union are what Twin Flames Universe has packaged under it. And it's literally a Twin Flame Ascension School Life Purpose class are the main components there. And it's really just this. It's like, it's online courses and an embodiment of love. And you learn how to love yourself. And the courses themselves go over every single upset you could possibly imagine you would ever have with like relationships or with purpose work. It is incredible. And it's just very soothing to the heart. You get to like walk with other students. Like it's all recorded, and we have a whole community going on over there. Go check it out if you want. But like yeah. And like we'll link it. But like it has an incredible amount of like just spiritual work. Mm-hmm. Really grounded, practical spiritual work. That was one of the major things I was looking for when I first started. Was like, this is a little bit. I know you've talked about it in other podcasts. Little woo woo. It's a little up there for me. Woo woo. And I was just like, I need something that's practical that works.
Yeah.
Like that I can see tangible results in my life.
So I need to see that this.
I need the stats. Yes. Amen. I need the stats. I need to see that the work works, and I'm willing to try it on and vet it myself, which is what I did. And I recommend everyone does that all the time with whatever you're doing. And like I did. And I was like, wow, I feel a difference. I feel a shift, and I'm going to continue moving towards this because it feels good. It works for me, and I'm seeing results in my life. Wow. And so it is all about loving yourself and coming into alignment with your good, coming into alignment with your authentic self. That's what it's about, union with self. That is what the teachings of union do. They support you in coming into union with self, union with God, union with self, union with your twins.
Awesome. And that's the three-folded cord that I call it, you and God, and you and yourself, and you and your soulmate, and it makes that unbreakable cord in my head. I make stuff up all the time. Absolutely. If you don't mind sharing with us we can boop it out. What was your twin flame journey like? Like, how did you identify your now husband and your twin?
Oh, I love this. Yes. So when I joined Twin Flame Universe, I was stationed in Italy, and I was ready. And I was like, I was like, I'm ready for something. There was like maybe 120 people in there at the time. It wasn't very many people. It wasn't that long ago either. It was like 2017, 16 maybe. And I was just looking for something different. And when I started the journey, I had what we would call a false twin flame or soulmate that I was like really thought was my twin flame. I was seeing all these signs and synchronicities, and I just followed the work. And one of the biggest lessons for me was not being attached to the man, right? Do you choose your ultimate partner? Do you choose your twin flame if it's this person? And do you choose your twin flame if it's not this person? That is a huge question to ask, because if you said yes, I choose my twin flame if it's not this person, but no, if I choose this twin flame because it is this person, then you're attached to the man and not the twin. And it's like, you want to make sure you don't have that attachment, that you're completely open to whomever you're pursuing is or is not, and let that be shown to you over time.
Okay.
Yeah. And so Jason and I were both what we would call live students in Twin Flame Ascension School. So our whole journey is recorded, which is really cool to look back on. But yeah, like our whole journey and all of this unfolds through the entire class. And so it was a couple years, that they recorded that stuff. And so Jeff and Shalia would help us, our spiritual teachers and guru over there. Like they'll help us like move through all these blocks, and they're just really supporting us as twin flames. All the students, that's what they did, is just support anyone who was interested in it. And we realized at the end, a little after the courses ended, Jay and I, through the courses, became really good friends, and we talked all the time. And we were always helping each other with the inner work. He was helping me, I was helping him. And we really developed that teacher and partnership and best friend energy really came in for us. And by the end of TFAS, we call it TFAS, Twin Flame Ascension School, we were best friends. Like we talked all the time. And he was really helping me with the mind alignment process, which we kind of touched on earlier, and helping me put that together and build that out. And that's I'm very, very passionate about trauma healing and supporting soldiers with healing trauma. And he was helping me kind of, build that stuff out with Jeff. And then he moved in, and we were just going to be roommates. Right. So I moved back to the States. I was in Missouri at this time, and Jay moved in, and he was just going to help me with MAP and then do some supportive stuff around the house, like, cook for me because he's a professional chef. And like, I was like, yeah, that was on my love list. I was like, that can help me cook. Right. Yeah. Yes. So he moved in, and very shortly after, we started getting closer and closer, and we realized that something was going on. And so we had a meeting with Jeff and Shalia, and they were like, yeah, I think you two need to pull out your love lists, and we need to look at this. And that's when we realized we were twin flames. And we came into harmony very quickly after. And, that's it. Like we had moved through, it's amazing. We did move through a lot of blocks because we weren't expecting that. We're like, it just was like mind blowing because we were on the twin flame journey for so long. How could we be right in front of each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. But we remember doing a session together. I remember this like it was yesterday. We're sitting on a couch and we were just doing some inner work. And we both said it, that we felt our twin flame was so close. We could feel them. Like we both felt our twin flame was so close to us. Like, but we didn't see how it was going to happen. We didn't know because the twin flame person, the false twin flames weren't talking to us. Yeah. I was in Italy. I was in Missouri. Like, it was just like, we couldn't see it, but we had that faith and we kept moving. And then that's when we realized we were twin flames. And it's such a ride. And that's just the beginning. The work keeps going. It's like chop wood, carry water before twin flame union, chop wood, carry water after twin flame union. You just keep loving, you keep growing, you keep expanding. And it's an incredible life that I hope everyone has an opportunity to live if they desire it.
Yeah. Especially if you've gone through, a lot of relationships or just relationships. Relationships are tough enough. Mm-hmm. And so it's like, if you've already gone through that, you should want something better for yourself. This is a worthwhile journey. Exploring. I personally, I guess over 8 years ago, committed to, I would say I've been on a twin flame journey of my own, meaning just me, whatever I know. Now I have all these tools now with meeting you and now the school, deeper. And maybe it's another chapter, another phase for me to go deeper into the journey. But I've definitely started the journey because That is the union I put out that I want, what it describes, what it truly is, how wholesome it is. And so that commitment, when I made that commitment, I felt like that's when, even though it's, like I said, it's not easy, that's when things became so easy and simple for me. I was not trying to date. I wasn't swiping left and right. I tried that for a bit and I realized that wasn't going to work for me. But everything just flows for me. And I know it connects and it does. And the more I walk in that space, the better for me. I feel like I have connected with my twin, but then again, yeah, I feel like I have. I don't think they're aware, but they might be. I think they are. They are, but not to use the word,
Right.
because they are
You
not.
feel that connection.
Yeah, but we flow in that essence. And one thing you said that's so important is commit to whether or not a person. And so that's the commitment that I've made.
Yes.
So releasing, even when I thought, oh, this could be, and I'm looking at it, I just let it go. I just let it flow. But the healthy, the growth, the union, all the things are there. It's just a matter of time for certain things to manifest. And I'm fine with it because like I said, I'm really loving me. I'm really loving life, even though it's tough sometimes. And I'm figuring out so many things, but I'm really loving that. And so what I can say is the union I'm in does not take from me. It builds me. It builds me, and they're building. And so as long as that's there, I'm open. If that's not the union for me, it will last as a good soulmate. It will serve its purpose, but I would have gone further on my twin flame journey ultimately, regardless, because I'm in such a state of clarity about what I want, right?
That's a beautiful place to be in.
Thank you so much for sharing them, because now I'm like, oh, I have a place to go get tools and do more work on my journey.
Yeah, there's a lot of free stuff too. There's tons of stuff you can get for free. There's this great Twin Flames Universe has this great intro course to just see if you're interested. It's free. You can sign up for it. And the chaser runner dynamic is one of the first Mythbusters. It's like one of the first. We just drop it right away on you and be like, listen, this is what's going on. Yeah, 100%. So yeah, you should check it out for sure.
I absolutely will. There's nowhere in life you can tell me that you're going to spend your days and nights chasing someone and that's going to be something that God, the universe wanted for any of us. Like, there's no way. One quick question I have before we do flip the script, though.
Mm-hmm.
Do you guys talk about past lives at all and how that's connected to twin flame journey? She's like, I know you're going to ask something weird and
no, you can listen. I've been around for a while. I can answer all of them. Okay, so listen, past life regression. You can dive into it, and there are people who do. But what the Twin Flames Universe body of work invite you into is focusing on this life. Focusing on your current experiences, because we do believe in reincarnation and we do believe in cycles. And like, you're on this life journey for this cycle and you're having the life experiences you need to heal it right now. Right. Because your life cycle and your patterns don't change just because you move from one life to another. They come with you. Your energy doesn't shift. They come back. Right. So you don't need to go into things that, you don't need to go into that space if you don't want to.
Present.
Yeah. You can stay practical and grounded and just move through your current present situation, your current feelings, whatever's going on with you, and meet your desired end state.
I just love the way you answer that. That is like, she is pretty smart and brilliant. She is the bomb.
Oh, you're so sweet.
You know what I'm asking? Michael, I forgot what his name is. Something Wiz. And he went into the whole, there's this, one of my friends who talk a lot about twin flames, and it's funny because I think we met and I think he thought it was twin flame. And then he was like, you were going the wrong way. I'm like, yeah, that means I'm not your twin flame. But anyway, he shared this book with me from, I think it's Wise or Wiz. I don't remember. I'm not so well. I still try to figure me and names. I don't want to say I'm not so great with names, but there are times when they just don't come to me because I do a lot of content reading as well. Like he did the past life regression meditation, and he had two. I don't know if you know the story. He had two individuals who were being seen by the doctor, the writer of the book, and this concept, past life regression stuff. And they were, I guess, twin flames in one life, and then they were able to meet in the current life. And so I was just curious if that happens, because I know the person who I am connecting with in a twin flame union at this point in my life. It's like I had this dream, and we had I just don't know why we're so familiar. And then I had a dream, felt like so real, like we knew each other, but we were different. We were different embodiments. Like our soul was the same, and we recognized each other. Like anyway, weird stuff. Weird woohoo stuff, Dr. Lisa. So I love the way you answered. So let's play with the script. And everybody knows I get so authentic and raw in this podcast. I could go off on a tangent. I had to bring myself back. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God there's a guest here, because I don't know what I'm going to say. Every transformative journey, Dr. Christine, comes with challenges. Can you share a time when you had to flip the script of your own twin flame journey? What mindset shift did you experience, and how did that change the outcome for you?
Oh, I love this. These are like, for me, we call them watershed moments, right? And I think one of my major watershed moments for me on my journey was when the script flipped, and I had gone to war. I had some childhood stuff come up, so trauma surfaced, right? And this happens a lot when we slow down and we start really reflecting. And I had done all the things I would tell my soldiers to do. I called the lines. I went in for support. I went to the doctors. I went to the behavioral health and stuff, and it just really wasn't working for me. And I decided I wrote a blog just sharing where I was and what was going on. And that's when, Jeff offered to help. The founder of Twin Flames Universe offered to help. He's like, Chrissy, I can help you. And I didn't really connect it, because I was doing Twin Flame Ascension School, and we were doing this, but I didn't connect that he could help me here. And so we got on a call, and he helped me heal my trauma. And that's when the mind alignment process was born. And, it was just a call. It was, him asking me a series of questions, me answering them, and me taking back my power and honoring the power of my choice and choosing peace. Choosing peace in my life, regardless of what happened to me, regardless of the challenges I faced, choosing peace and prioritizing that. And then I went on with my life, and I was like, okay, we'll see, we'll see if this is working. And then I remember coming home from a wine tour. I mean, I was in Italy, so there was a lot of going on. And I got cases of wine because I was, I had self-medicated for a long time, and a lot of soldiers do. Yeah. And I didn't have anywhere to stack the wine, because all my wine racks were full, because I had stopped self-medicating with alcohol, and I didn't even realize it. I had stopped drinking, but I didn't stop buying. And so when I realized I had nowhere to put the wine, I realized I had stopped drinking, and I wasn't being haunted anymore. That was what was in my mind. It was gone. And I dropped to my knees, and I thank God, and I started crying, and I was like, this works. And I've been sharing it ever since.
Oh my goodness, that is so incredible. You had stopped drinking, did not realize it, because you still keep thinking you're going to drink again. Yeah, and that's amazing. I'm listening to that. I'm like, what's my parallel? I might have a story like that.
That's my flip the script story. It changed my life, and I've been working on sharing it and doing my part. And, that's really what's next for me, is continuing to work on getting this work, whether it's through Twin Flame Ascension School or through the alignment process, but getting this peace out to people, helping people come into deeper peace within themselves, helping people come into deeper awareness of who they are and love themselves. Right. I think we all can use it in this life, in this society today. And that's what I focus on every day.
I would love to have you back for another episode where we can go into that part of your work.
I would absolutely love that.
Yeah, today we're focusing around the twin flame union, but I would love to have you back. We'll schedule that ASAP. So let me ask my Wilson my last question and flip the script. What do you see is the ultimate purpose of a twin flame union or twin flame journey? And how can it contribute to someone's life purpose and ultimately their success?
Yeah, I think like the ultimate purpose of your twin flame journey is ascension.
Mm-hmm.
It's raising your vibration. That's the purpose of it. And it drives you into your purpose. Mm-hmm. And the difference with the twin flame journey is it's on Earth. You ascend on Earth. Create heaven right now. You have the power to create your heaven on Earth.
Yes.
You have the power to choose how your life is going to go and the trajectory of your life. And regardless of what you're moving through, whatever's going on, you can't heal it. And so we're here to heal. We're here to ascend. We're here to continue to give our gifts to people who desire them and want to receive them and love each other.
Absolutely. So profound. So profound. I have to ask this question. What is success for you, Dr. Christine?
Oh, it is moving towards your good. Mm-hmm. It's choosing a goal and moving towards it. That is success. The metric of success for me is moving towards my good and feeling good about it. And as long as I'm doing that, my good will change as I go because I'm going to grow. I'm going to meet my goals and then I'm going to have new goals. I'm going to climb this mountain and I'm going to climb another mountain. And I'm going to continue to climb. And that means my goals are always moving. But the metric of success for me is, do I feel good now? Am I moving towards my good?
Am I moving towards my good? I love that question. That is a question for 2025, y'all. Because let me tell you, we can do a lot of things and it does not serve us as an individual for our own good. And a lot of us make choices to keep, and we don't realize how much of we're maintaining a facade. And a facade is anything that is not you, is not authentic to you, not meaningful, beneficial. So are you moving towards your good? Dr. Christine, before you tell us all about connecting and stuff with you, we always have to have mindset bites to go, where I step away from this microphone and the camera and it's just you and our listeners and viewers as if it were your last time to leave, about a 90-second talk or whatever you want to say to them. Questions, I don't know, because you've done all of the things. So I'm going to step away and let you give us mindset bites to go.
All right. For people who are interested in understanding and building connections with your twin flames, we have found that those who are willing to do the work of challenging yourself and sincerely applying the Twin Flames Universe teachings, you will see positive growth in your life. It will support you wherever you're at and will help you get to your goals, whether that is with your romantic relationship or your purpose work like we talked about today. If success for you is moving towards your good, then you want to start with how you feel and move towards that. Feel through those feelings, come into peace, and always act from a state of peace. The Twin Flame journey is an incredible opportunity to ascend and have an amazing life with a partner who meets you in every possible way. So I invite you to check out all of the material we talked about today, create that love list, go check out that free course at twinflamesuniverse.com and see if the Twin Flame journey is a great fit for you.
Oh, thank you so much, Dr. Christine. Emphasizing that the journey is not about chasing someone else. It's about finding yourself. When you love yourself fully, you align with love you deserve and desire, and everything just falls into place. That is my belief. Punto final. Nothing else needed. So, Dr. Christine, I know that you all are going to share your links and everything, but what's the main way to connect with you directly?
Yeah, if you want to connect with me directly, you can do that at my website is aswanguidance.com. You can just check us out there and you click on the links and link in with me through email or any way that you're comfortable with, frankly. And we can go from there and see if I can support you in whatever it is your goals are.
Absolutely. And you have the links for the Twin Flame. It's Twin Flame Universe So all of that will be in the description wherever you're listening or watching. Just share it with someone else, because here's the thing: we're not just calling you to higher love in a union with another person. We're first calling you into higher love and union with yourself, and then from that place you're able to attract the love you truly desire, and hopefully for you, if you choose, it's in a twin flame union. So today, this has been truly eye-opening conversation. Dr. Christine, thank you so much for sharing your insight and guiding us on this transformative journey that is so well needed in the world today. For those who are curious about it, again, go to the teachings. It's twinflameuniverse.com. If you're just listening, you can remember twinflameuniverse.com, and you can connect with Dr. Christine. All of that will be there. Remember that your mindset is everything in every step. So first of all, how are you thinking and feeling? How is this conversation making you feel? Are you just curious? Then just go click. What's the deal, guys? Don't overthink it. Take that little quiz. It's on the website. I've taken it already, and I would share my results probably in another episode. But until next time, keep mastering your mindset and seek to higher love with yourself and the rest of the world. And I'm going to use Dr. Christine's question. Is this taking you towards your good? Love, life, peace, and blessings. Bye, guys. We'll see you soon.